Today we are going to discuss nature and syllabus of public administration for civil services preparation. For this, it is important to define public administration in a simple way. It deals with functioning of civil services, how they work to achieve the goal laid down by the government, how they work, how they implement the policies laid down by the government, and how they should work so that goal can be achieved without any wastage of resources. For example, presently vaccination program is going on. The major challenge before the bureaucracy is that how to achieve the target, and also there should be no wastage of the resources. Public administration is a multidisciplinary subject. It borrows from different subjects. It contains some portion of management, some portion of political science, psychology, ethics, and sociology. Public administration is 100 years old subject, approximately 100 years old subject. Comparatively, there is lesser development. So the syllabus is limited. There are two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. For examination purpose, each paper is further subdivided into two sections, section 1 and section 2. Let's discuss paper 1, section A. We discuss some common issue in different subjects. For example, we discuss budget in different subjects like economics, political science, public administration, and even in sociology. So the question is there same focus in our discussion on a budget in all the subject? Do we study the budget in the same way in all the subject? Answer is no. Answer is big no. We do not study the same issue in the same way in all the subjects. Rather, there is different focus in different subject on a same issue. For example, in economics, while studying the budget, the focus is on fiscal deficit financing, borrowing. But in public administration, the focus is on fiscal management, fiscal accountability. Focus is on utilization of the resources in such a way so that there is no wastage, misuse, and misappropriation. Now the question is how we come to know what to discuss and where to focus in a particular subject. Answer lies in definition and scope of the subject. It is the definition and scope of the subject determine what to discuss and where to focus in a particular subject. Unit 1 deal with these issues. It deals with the definition of public administration. It deals with the current status of public administration. Unit 1 contains meaning, scope, and significance of public administration, Wilson's vision of public administration. Woodrow Wilson is a father of public administration. So, under this topic, we will study the concept of public administration given by Woodrow Wilson. Then, evolution of the discipline over the period of time, how this subject evolved over the period of time, how the nature, scope, definition of the subject changed over the period of time. Then we will study the current trends, the current status of public administration in the form of new public administration, public choice approach, challenges of liberalization, privatization and globalization, good governance, and new public management. इस यूनिट को हम 10 लेक्चर के अंदर कवर करेंगे। यूनिट 2, सपोज you are SP of a district. To maintain law and order in the district is your responsibility. Now the question is, can you alone maintain law and order in a district? No, you alone cannot maintain law and order in a district. For this, you need cooperation of whole police department in a district, right up to the constable. Suppose you are collector of a district. You have to implement the policies. You have to implement the policies in such a way so that there is no wastage of resources. You need cooperation of different departments. For this, you need guidance, you need knowledge regarding how to work, how to implement policies in such a way that there is no wastage of resources. You achieve the goal within the time. For this, you need guidance, you need knowledge how to work, how to implement the policies so that there is no wastage, how to ensure the cooperation of subordinates and different departments in the district. Unit 2 provide answer to these questions. Unit 2 contain thinkers. It contains the knowledge these thinkers have acquired over the period of time. This knowledge is helpful for the civil servant to work at the district level. It guides the civil servant how to implement the policies at the district level, how to ensure the cooperation of different people in the organization. Here we study scientific management and scientific management. Classical theory. Classical theory is the one who were the first to acquire such knowledge in the field of public administration. Then we study Weber, bureaucracy of Weber, and post-Weberian developments, dynamic administration of Mary Parker Foley, human relations school, Elton Mew and others, function of executive, Chester Barnard, decision-making theory of the Simon, and participatory management. This unit is the core of public administration. In fact, this unit is most important unit to develop your understanding of public administration. So comparatively, we will be devoting more time on this topic. इसे हम कवर करेंगे 25 लेक्चर्स में. Unit 3. Being a district collector, you have to get done the work from other. For this, it is essential, it is possible only if subordinate put you in high esteem. They are willing to follow your order. They are willing to follow you. And unit deals with these issues like motivation, morale, theories of the motivation, content theories, process theories and contemporary theories of the motivations, leadership and theories of the leadership. इस यूनिट को हम 9 लेक्चर्स में कवर करेंगे. Unit 4. There are large number of civil servants. If you want to utilize their potential, if you want to ensure that all the civil servants work in a smooth manner, there is no confusion, no chaos, it is essential that they should be arranged logically. There must be some structural arrangement which arrange all these civil servants in a logical manner. For example, there are different types of arrangement like departments, health departments, education departments, home department, and in addition to the department, there are boards, commissions. So this unit contains different types of organization structure in which we can arrange our civil servants like ministries and departments, corporations, companies, boards and commissions, ad hoc and advisory bodies, headquarters and field relations, regulatory authorities like telecom regulatory authorities, public-private partnership, etc. We will be covering this topic in 8 lectures. In Unit 5, how public administration is different from, say, private administration. The main difference is that in public administration, there is detailed control and accountability. In fact, there is direct control and accountability to the people. In fact, it is essential. It is important. It is the core of the public administration. Why? Because public administration is administration of the people and for the people. That is why there is a detailed, a broader mechanism of accountability. So this unit deals with issue of control and accountability. So in this unit, we will study the concept of accountability and control. Is there any difference between control and accountability? If so, then what is the difference? Then legislative, executive and judicial control over the administration. Citizen and administration, role of media, interest group, voluntary organization, civil society, citizen charters and right to information, social audit. We will be covering this unit in 10 lectures. Unit 6. Power of bureaucracy is increasing day by day. Initially, the main function of bureaucracy was to implement the public policy. The policy formulation was the function of, or in fact is the function of, politicians, legislature. But gradually, the role of bureaucracy in policy formulation, even in law making, and also in adjudication is increasing day by day. And that is why the power of bureaucracy is increasing day by day. Now the question is, why the role of bureaucracy is increasing in policy formulation, in law making as well as adjudication? The reason is very simple. The reason is that administration is becoming complex. The government has to make technical, complex policies. For example, policy on insurance, medicine policies, and minister, the legislative members, being a layman, they cannot deliberate, they cannot make these policies in detail. So they need the assistance of bureaucracy. So that is why the power of bureaucracy is increasing day by day. And with increasing the power of bureaucracy, the scope of this issue is covered under the topic of administrative law. So Unit 6 deal with administrative law. It defines the meaning, scope and significance of administrative law, discusses views on administrative law, delegated legislation, administrative tribunals. We will be covering this topic in 5 lectures. So this completes our discussion on paper 1, section A. Now we move to section 2. Paper 1, section B, unit 7. There is police department in all the countries, but the working of police department is different in different countries. For example, the police of UK work differently in comparison to the police in India. So therefore, you need to find out the reason why administration in one country is different. Its working in one country is different from its working in another country. Comparative study is also essential to learn and adopt good practices, good administrative practices in other countries. For example, Gramin Bank Yojana. It was a very successful scheme launched in Bangladesh to remove rural poverty. Learning from this scheme, we adopted this model and introduced in India as well. And in India, it is also proving successful to some extent. So, comparative study is important in public administration. Unit deals with comparative studies. For example, it study comparative public administration, and we cover these topics: historical and sociological factor affecting administrative system. अगर हमारा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऐसा है तो ऐसा क्यों है? इसके पीछे हमारे हिस्टोरिकल और सोशियोलॉजिकल सोसाइटी के फैक्टर भी हैं. And why American administration is different? They have their own history and sociological factor which makes the administration different. We'll study all these. Then administration and politics in different countries. Then current status of public administration, comparative public administration, ecology and administration. ये कहावत आपने सुनी होगी, यथा प्रजा तथा राजा. मीन्स जिस तरह के लोग हैं, जिस तरह की उनकी सोच है, जिस तरह की उनकी विचारधारा है, राजा भी वैसा ही होगा. So ecology means environment. Environment impact the administration. Environment affects the administration. Then Riggs model and its critique. So this is what the unit is, and we will be covering this unit in 7 lectures. Unit 8. Let me ask you a simple question. Why you want to join civil services? इसका सबसे आसान और सबसे पॉपुलर जवाब है I want to serve the society. खास करके इंटरव्यू में दिए जाने वाला आंसर I want to serve the society, to serve the society. But कहीं ना कहीं hidden जो जवाब है, जो रियल जवाब है, that is the power associated with the bureaucracy. So there are 2 answers to this question. One, to serve the society, and number 2, to enjoy power associated with the bureaucracy. How bureaucracy ensure this? How it gives you an opportunity to serve the society? Once a bureaucrat at lower level, you implement various or different policies. As you go higher up, you formulate policies, you participate in policy formulation. But at the lower level, at the collector level, you implement various welfare policies. So in this way, you serve the society. And once you enter in the civil services, you also enjoy power. When or how? Because you have, being a bureaucrat, you have power to distribute the resources. To whom the resources should be given? भाई दलित को पहले दिए जाएं या आदिवासी को दिए जाएं या किसी और को दिए जाएं? To whom to distribute the resources? And you also decide the rights of the people. आप एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर हैं, एक आदमी आपके पास एप्लीकेशन लेके आता है कि भाई मेरी जान को खतरा है, आई नीड ए वेपन लाइसेंस, मेरे को पिस्टल रखनी है और इसके लिए मेरे को लाइसेंस चाहिए. यू डिसाइड on this issue whether that person should be given a license, a weapon license or not. So this is how in bureaucracy you get an opportunity to serve the people by implementing various developmental programs, and you also acquire power. That is why bureaucracy in third world country is very powerful as compared to developed country, because in third world country bureaucracy is playing an important role in development of the society. So in this topic we will be covering this syllabus, the concept of development. Very important and a serious issue. It is important to define what you mean by the development, because what is a development for you, it is not a development for another person. It is anti-development for another person. For example, big dams, building big dams is a development issue for urban people. Why? Because they will get electricity, they will get water for drinking purpose. But it is not a development for the tribal people living in the hinterlands, living in the forest. Why? Because building a dam will lead to his displacement from his original land. It will bring suffering from him. It will bring suffering for him. So it is important to define the concept of development, and that is why you will find changing profile of development administration, anti-development thesis. Then the role of bureaucracy in development, strong state versus market, whether development should be brought, whether in development the role should be played by the state or by the market. So this debate is also there. Then impact of liberalization on administration in developing countries. And then finally women and development, the self-help groups, movement, etc. इस यूनिट को हम 7 लेक्चर्स में कवर करेंगे. यूनिट 9. The Constitution of India provide security to the civil servants. For example, they cannot be removed and dismissed by the government very easily. Now the question is, what will happen if an incompetent person joins the civil services? Very simple. वो ना तो खुद काम करेगा और ना दूसरों को काम करने देगा. So in such situation, but about the goals which are to be achieved by the public administration, but about the policies which public administration have to implement. Then suppose competent person is there, but government is not utilizing his potential. वो आता है सुबह कुर्सी पे बैठ के चला जाता है शाम को अपने घर. The government is not utilizing the potential of that person. Suppose competent person is there, but he leaves the organization. Government spends huge amount to make the person a competent person. It provides them training. For example, to make a person a good pilot, Indian Air Force spend huge resources. There was a time when private airline business was in a boom. So many officials, so many pilots left the Indian Air Force and joined the private airlines. As a result, Indian Air Force suffered from a manpower shortage. So answer to these questions are provided by this topic, personnel administration. In personnel administration, we deals with importance of human resource development, why we should making a person a resource, how we can make a person a resource. Resource means a useful person. Then recruitment of civil services, training, career advancement, promotion, classification like class 1, class 2, class 3, discipline, performance appraisal, promotion, pay and service conditions, employer-employee relations, grievances redressal mechanism, code of conduct and administrative ethics. इस टॉपिक को हम 10 लेक्चर में कवर करेंगे। यूनिट 9, गवर्नमेंट का काम क्या है? द मेन जॉब ऑफ executive, political executive is to make policies. Why policies are formulated? Policies are formulated, policy is basically a strategy. A strategy is formulated to solve a particular problem in the society. So the government continuously makes policies and these policies are implemented by the civil services. We know that some policies deliver good result while others do not. So it is important to study what are the reasons why a particular policy is successful, why it is able to achieve the target, why it is able to achieve the result with minimum resources, and why other policy is not able to do that. So we have to find out the reason. We have to find out the flaws in policy. We have to find out the good points in the policy so that this knowledge guide us in future policy formulation as well as in policy implementation. So this discussion is covered under the topic public policy. There are different models of policy making and their problems, process of conceptualizations, planning, how policies are planned, implementation, and once implementation is there, policy is monitored, whether it is working, it is going on smoothly or not, evaluation after the policy period is over, and review and their limitations, state theories and public policy formulation. We will be covering this topic in 6 lectures. Unit 11. We know that main job of civil servant is to implement the public policy. So if civil servant will be a competent person, there is more probability that policy will be implemented successfully. But successful implementation of policy not only depends upon the competence of civil servants, it also depends upon the organization structure, organization procedure. Therefore, there is a need to continuously bring reforms in the organization. For example, in India, we follow hierarchical organization. It means a proposal or a policy moves from one level to another, then to the higher level. It passes, before taking a final decision, it passes through different level of decision making. As a result, there is delay. So we need reforms to cut short this delay. We need to carry out reform to bring procedural simplicity. And it is a continuous process. E-governance ने हमारी प्रॉब्लम काफ़ी हद तक सॉल्व कर दी है. Nevertheless, it need continuous reform, and we will discuss under this unit techniques of administrative improvement like organization and methods, work study and work management, e-governance and information technology, management aid tools like network analysis, MIES, PERT, CPM, etc. Unit 12. When CRPF moves to a Naxalite area, it involves huge expenditure. When government implement a policy, it also involves a huge expenditure. Whatever administration does, it involves expenditure, it involves money. But the problem is that the resources with the government is limited. No country says or can say that they are surplus with the resources, because the function of government are ever increasing, and therefore you have to manage these functions with limited resources. Financial administration deals with this issue. It deals with the issue that how we should be utilizing our limited resources. How we should be utilizing our resources in such a way that there is no wastage, there is no misuse. So in this topic, we will be covering monetary and fiscal policy, public borrowing and public debt, budget types and forms, budgetary process, financial accountability, accounts and audit. इस यूनिट को हम 10 लेक्चर के अंदर कवर करेंगे. So this complete our discussion on section 2 paper 1. Next topic will be discussion on paper 2. Thank you.